Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another Star Trek movie review, and today we are moving on to the second Next Generation era movie, and that is Star Trek First Contact, everybody. This was a Star Trek movie that I watched when I was a kid. Probably one of the very few Star Trek things that I watched growing up. So, this movie is directed by Jonathan Frakes, and he also plays Riker #1, so he directs this movie, and he's a good director. I like the way that he shoots the movie and everything. Like, I just love the angles and all that. I think he's a good director. He kind of reminds me, it's like Leonard Nimoy. They both were good at starring and directing in some of these Star Trek movies that they did direct and play a really important character in. So, and the whole Next Gen cast is back, of course, but we have some newcomers in this movie. James Cornwell, everyone, plays Zefram Cochrane, everybody. He is the guy that created the first warp-capable ship, everybody, and that's the whole point of First Contact. It's the whole point of this movie and everything. So, Alfre Woodard, she plays Lily. She's his friend and everyone, and also the person that's helping him build this ship. And then Dwight Schultz plays Reginald Barclay, everybody. He was in the Next Generation show. He has a pretty brief appearance in this movie, but Barclay is in this movie. You gotta mention Barclay because he was a goofball in the TV show. So, the whole premise of this movie is it is the Borg. Probably the Next Gen Enterprise crew's biggest foe that they ever faced in the TV series was the Borg. So they end up, the Enterprise, it's the new Enterprise too, it's the Enterprise E, which is a very badass looking Enterprise ship. It's way different than the Enterprise D or the B and the regular one that we've seen. It's a very different ship. It's very cool looking, very badass. So yeah, they get told not to go help fight this Borg cube, and then Picard basically just decides to not follow orders, and he decides, we're gonna go help these people because they're all dying and they can hear it on the comm, and they decide to go help, and they get there and everything. And there's a really funny part in the movie where the Defiant, if anybody that is a Star Trek fan that has seen the TV shows Deep Space Nine, they have a ship in Deep Space Nine that they get eventually, and it's this little ship called the Defiant, and it is a badass little ship, and Worf is freaking captain of that damn Defiant at the moment. He's not actually the captain of it, but he's using it to help try and beat this freaking Borg cube, and they end up transporting him off of the Defiant right before it blows up, and they throw a little shit at Worf because he's been on Deep Space Nine, the space station, and he was on the TV series from season 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then he always comes back to do these movies with the Next Gen cast, and they always poke a little fun at him and talking about that it's a cute little ship. That's what freaking Riker says to Worf. It's just a funny little part. So the banter between these actors and these characters of the Next Gen era, they're just great at the banter with each other. Awesomeness. So, and what happens is the Borg cube gets destroyed, and it shoots out like a sphere pod thing, so they can escape. And the Borg decide to time travel, and they were going to jump back in time. So the Enterprise follows them to stop them, and they go back all the way back. I think it's 2064, I think is the year. 64 or 69. I can't quite remember. But it's like 2064, around there. And it is literally, they traveled back in time to stop First Contact with humans. because the Vulcans made first contact with humans with Zephyr Cochrane, and the Borg are going back in time to stop that event from happening so that the human race never gets warp capabilities and Starfleet never born or any of that type of shit. So they're just like, we're going to go back in time and we're going to kill him. So that's the whole basic gist of the story of the movie. And so the movie takes a plot line from the TV series and it grows it and expands it with the Borg and our freaking crew of the Enterprise and everything, and they figure out these new exciting ways to grow the mythology with the Borg, because there's obviously it's a movie, so they got a bigger box or a budget, I almost said box office. They got a bigger budget, so the Borg are like really get a chance to shine in this movie because of the budget being higher in the movie, and they really expand the mythology with the Borg, because there's the Queen, the Borg Queen is in this movie, and she's creepy as hell because her shoulders and everything come down to a body. So and it combines a bunch of great story elements because you have time travel that is messing around with first contact, and then you got the Borg storyline, which is a continuation of the best of both worlds, which was the storyline and the plot from the TV series where Jean-Luc Picard became a Borg. Like, they assimilated him and he became Locutus and everything, which he was basically like the right-hand Borg person to beat Starfleet and everything. It was a huge storyline thing in season 3 going into season 4 of the Next Generation TV show. It was like a big deal, like really big deal. The movie is chocked full of great character dynamics, whether you're talking about just the crew of the Enterprise and then the crew of the Enterprise down on Earth talking to Zephyr Cochrane as somebody that they grew up learning about in school and idolizing, seeing statues of. Just great character dynamics, just all around. There's funny moments in the movie. The movie has great action, of course. Lots of great Star Trek sci-fi action. Can't go wrong with it. This is just a great Star Trek movie. Like, awesome Star Trek movie. If you're a fan of the Next Generation TV show, you most definitely will be satisfied with what they do with this movie. Like, very, very, very satisfied. So I'm going to give Star Trek First Contact a 9 out of 10, everybody. It is almost a perfect freaking Star Trek movie, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Thanks for watching. And I'll be catching you on the tube later because I have spoken.